Yo, what is up guys? Make sure before the video starts to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Today I'm going to be doing a knife tier list. And let's just get with it, let's start it. So first off, the Blastex knife skin thingy. I honestly don't really like the look of this one. I think it looks a bit weird. The pull-out animation is strange, but I feel like there are knives that are worse than it. I'll just put it in C tier. Next off, we have the candy cane knife. I feel like this is a pretty good value knife, but it is a bit lacking in my opinion. It doesn't really have, it has the cool pull-out animation and it is a bit satisfying, but it's not really that good, so I'd probably put it in B tier. Also, I am considering value. This knife is really expensive. If it was slightly less expensive, then I might have put it higher. But it is really expensive, so that's why it's down in C tier. So I'm considering value with this too. Next off, we have the Ego knife. Now, in my opinion, I honestly do not like retextures. I don't really care if the knife doesn't look that amazing. It's so lazy when you just have the same knife, the same knife thing as a default knife, except it's a retexture. I don't like retextures. I'm just putting this in D tier. And then next off, we have the Elder Flame knife. I honestly quite like this knife. It is really expensive though, and I feel like there are knives that are better than it, but it's still a really good knife. It's a solid pick. I'd say it goes in A tier. Next off, I think this is my favorite knife in the game. Automatic S tier. I love this knife. This is, in my opinion, the best knife in the game. I mean, I just love it so much. It looks so nice, and you should honestly just get it. It's so amazing. And next off, we have the GUN Baton thing. In my opinion, it's a bit underrated, but there are a lot of knives that are much better than it. I feel like the whole GUN set is underrated, but again, there are knives that are better than it. I think it definitely deserves a B tier. Next off, with the Hive Mind sword. Now this one, it's a pretty nice sword. It's kind of like a Dollar Tree Sovereign sword. I think it looks pretty nice. It's a battle pass skin, but it's not really that good of a battle pass skin. Again, there are some better options in it. I don't really like the Hive Mind design. I think it looks weird, but I think it deserves B tier since it's just 1000 battle points, or VP, or whatever you call them. Next off, the Ion Energy sword. I honestly also think that this knife is a bit underrated. I think it's a bit too pointy, and I think there are knives better than it. I feel like the claws are a bit underrated in general, but I feel like the normal knives just look slightly better than the claws, so I'm just gonna put this in B tier. Next off, we have the retexture knife. I honestly don't like this knife. Again, I don't like retextures. I'm just putting this in D tier. Next off, the Luke's knife. Now, this is probably going to be a controversial opinion, but I'm just going to put this in A tier. I think it is an amazing value knife. I love the Smite knife. It looks really good, in my opinion, and it's one of the cheapest knives in the game. I think it is definitely worth it if you get it in your shop, and it's severely underrated. Next off, the Nebula knife. Again, D tier. It is a retexture, but at least they tried to do something special with it. I mean, it does have the cool space theme thingy, whatever you want to call it. Next off, the Oni Claw. Again, I think the claws are overrated, underrated, but I love this claw. I think it looks really nice for a claw, but again, the claws, I just like the normal knives better than the claws. I'm just gonna put this in B tier. Next off, the Prime Axe. This is definitely a really good one. I love this one. It's an OG knife, and I like axes in general. I think they just look nice, so I'm just gonna put this in A tier. Next up, Prism knife. This is honestly a terrible knife. Terrible knife. I can't believe that this knife is more than $10. I think it's 1275 VP. It is not worth it. Please do not get this knife. Next off, the Reaver knife. I actually really like this knife. If you're an Omen main, pick this up right now. I don't know what you're doing. If you're an Omen main, then just buy this right now. I think it looks really good, but I think that there are other knives that outclass it a bit, but it's still amazing. I love this knife. Ah, yes, the Ruin knife. The good old Ruin knife. Everyone loves this knife. I don't think I've seen a single person that doesn't like this knife. And for $10, it is just a steal. I still think that there are knives better than it, but for $10, it is just insane. Probably one of the top 3, top 4 knives, honestly. Next off, the Singularity Knife. Now, I think this looks pretty nice, but it looks too much like the default knife for me, and it is a bit expensive. I'm still gonna put it in B tier because it actually looks really nice, but again, it looks too much like the default knife. Now, the worst knife in the game by far. I hate this knife. I hate it. I hate this Smite knife. I think that the lightning PNG effect thing looks terrible. And even though it's 20 bucks, it's just not worth it. It's a retexture, looks terrible. Luke's knife is like 10 times better than it. I hate this knife. This is the worst knife in the game. And you're probably wondering, why isn't the default knife the worst knife in the game? At least the default knife is free. You're actually paying like 20 bucks for this. There's no way. Just don't. Stay away from this knife. Stay away. And then next, you have the Sovereign Sword. Now, I love this knife. I think it's extremely comparable to like the Hive Mind sword, but it's just better than the Hive Mind sword in every single way. It is a bit more expensive, but it's worth it. I just love this knife. The pull-out animation is nice. The cool glowy, whatever you call it, effect is nice. This whole knife is just amazing. I love this knife. Next off, we have the Spline Dagger. I really don't like the look of the Spline Dagger. I get what they were going for. It looks creative. I just don't like it. It looks a bit weird in my opinion. I'm just gonna put it at the bottom of C tier. Next up, the Celestial Knife. Now, this is my second favorite knife in the game. It just looks so good. How can you not like this knife? I have a friend who doesn't like this knife. I don't even understand how he doesn't like it. It's just so good. The fanning, the cool ox thingy, just the way that it moves, it just looks amazing. I don't understand who wouldn't like this knife. It's just the second best knife in the game. Maybe even better than the Glitch Pop Dagger. Next off, the default knife. I'm putting this in C tier. It's free. It's the worst knife skin in the game by looks, but it's free, so who really cares? I mean, it knows what it's going for. Now, I'm just gonna move these down. I'm just gonna rearrange this a bit. And now next, the anime knife. Now, I think this knife would have looked good, but the jet on it looks a bit weird. I think it's a bit lazy. I don't really feel like it's worth the price tag. I feel like if it was like $25.50, then this would be like easy A tier. It just costs too much. It's just like, I like the look of it, but it's only really for a specific type of person. I think you should only pick this up if you're a jet main, because a jet just looks weird on it. Imagine if you're not playing jet and you have this knife. It just looks strange. Like, I don't know. It deserves top of C tier for sure. Next off, the Glitch Pop Axe. Now, this is definitely going to be a controversial pick. I don't think it deserves S tier. I feel like all these knives are better, and the Glitch Pop, I don't really know how something can be S tier if you literally have a knife that's the exact same cost, that's better than it. This is better than this. The equip animation is nice. I feel like it's a nice looking knife, but these knives are just better. Maybe, I guess maybe the Reaver knife might be worse than these. These are interchangeable probably, but I don't really know. I just think this is definitely top of A tier. So close to S tier, but I don't think it deserves it yet. Next off, the Battle Pass knife. I'm just gonna put this like right here. Many people think that this is a terrible Battle Pass knife skin. At least it's not bad as the first Battle Pass knife skin. No, that is a terrible. No offense, I don't like that knife skin. But this one's pretty decent. It kind of looks like the normal knife. It's a retexture though. I think that the poison thingy looks cool, but it's just not really that good of a knife in my opinion. And then finally, we have this axe thingy. The Bootleg Prime Axe. I really like this knife. I'm just gonna put it near the top of A tier. I think it's one of the best. I think this is the second best Battle Pass knife. Of course, the Ruined Dagger is better, but this one is just so good. And also, I just realized I'm kind of dumb. This list doesn't have the Prime Karambit. I'd say that the Prime Karambit would probably be around like right here. Maybe people don't really like the second level VFX thingy. I think it actually looks quite nice, but again, I think it's definitely deserving. It's below this, but it's above this. The Prime Karambit. Yeah, again, sorry for not including that. I'm kind of dumb. I forgot to put that in the tier list. Now, anyways, Again, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, share it with other people, and see you later, I guess.